Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe, and you're checking out Weekend at Gabe's, and thanks for checking out this latest episode. While you're here, also follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Thanks for checking us out.
All right, joining us next, he has a new album, his actually second album in 3 months. Gooch is God and God is Everything. A friend of the show, and he's been featured over when I was over at Radio 1 Chicago on our hip hop ciphers, and also coming on as a guest. I think he guest hosted 1 week. We had him on. Pleasure to introduce back to Weekend at Gabe's, Dr. Quinn, joining us here on Weekend at Gabe's. How are you, sir?
Hey, let me correct you for a minute.
Go ahead.
That's my fourth studio album, my God.
Oh wow! I did say 3 months.
Album. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I ain't saying you wrong. It's like the promotion been on some BS because I say on my own end, but like Gucci's God and God is Everything is my fourth solo release full length album.
Fourth full length album, but how many this year though?
Two
this year. Okay.
Two this year.
Right. That's what I was trying to. That was.
Yeah. Now, if you mean by that, but no, right now. Like I said, no offense. I'm just saying, like, hey,
you've been on the block at least four times. At least four times.
You got me in during Richard Pryor, the first album. I haven't, like, the first time we met, that was my first album and shit. So like, I was so like, again, Gabe, Sam, I'm so appreciative for y'all, like, featuring me on y'all show. Like, again, Gabe, appreciative for you put me on for the first time. Just because, like, right, Chicago needs it right now. We need to expose more hip hop artists. So, that's all it is. So, but yeah, the fourth installment.
The fourth installment. And this is Gooch's God and God is Everything.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little background on that title a little bit? Because Gabe has done some research, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Ooh, I like how you talk. So, this all right. So shouts to the Tomorrow Kings. My big brothers, Gilead 7, Colosso, Sketch 183. All y'all know who you is, Sharif, Malak, DPL, right. Y'all niggas know who you is. When I first got signed to Reserve Records, my first EP was called The Gooch. And this is the second installment of this whole Gooch thing, like, so this is supposed to be like the Gooch part 2. But when I'm, like, I wanted to call it the Gooch 2, but I was like, it's kind of cliche. So instead, what I wanted to do was, like, like, elevate it, like, so, like, this was actually conceived in 2016. Like, this supposed, and I was supposed to release it last year, just because, like, it was a 5-year anniversary of, like, my very first release as being a signed artist. I got a 1 album deal. I'm gonna keep it right there. Like, we cool with that. But I'm just letting young cats know, like, you can get 1 album deals and without the band. But anyways, Gucci got his Everything, meant so much to me in the sense of, like, all right, I'm now at this point of my platform. I've created my own platform at this sense. I made what I wanted, I got the connections I wanted. So now it's about maintaining, maturing, cultivating those resources that you have, that's the overall message of the album. It's like, like, be a god, like, cultivate your resources, like, don't indulge in the benefits, in the sense of, like, you're gonna have the yes men, you're gonna have the bitches, you're gonna have the money, but at the same time, it's like, the people that put you on, how many people can you say that you have in your contacts right now in your phone that can put you in a better place right now than you are already.
Hmm.
You
What do
know,
you mean by hold on? What do you mean by a better place?
in the sense that elevating yourself, in the
Okay.
sense of, we all eat.
Right.
We all benefit off each other. And shouts out to my label, Bit Tape Records, but that's what we built ourselves off of. In that same time, it's like being gods in our own ways. Like, like I took this quote from Gandhi: be the change you want to see.
Mm.
It's like you want to, you can't sit here and say I did this all on my own, because you didn't.
Right.
Because you took the initiative to, you took your own initiative to go on those resources versus, oh, I had to do this, that, and the third. Like, yeah, it took me to email you. It took me to email this person. It took me to DM, blah, 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 whatever the fuck, but at the same time, it won't be for y'all if y'all didn't want to put me out here. And that's kind of what I speak on that in that aspect. It's like, along with like false idols, like with the song like Messiah, John the Baptist, like John the Baptist was killed because the king, I mean, I forgot the king's name, but as the story goes, the king killed him because he felt that he was a threat to him, but John the Baptist was just doing his own thing. And the king was more of a false Messiah, but then again, like going into Messiah, like when I introduced the track from Altar, I was talking about like, but we have to talk about race. We have to talk about race. But when have we seen a white musician, actor, be a leader in the white community?
I'm curious what. Hold on, because I'm curious what being a leader in the white community looks like.
Think about it like this: who do people in the black community look towards? Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Farrakhan, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Chance the Rapper, who the fuck else?
Chadwick Boseman.
I say in the sense of entertainers,
Virgil Abloh, who we're talking about later tonight. People.
And I love Virgil Abloh, and it's not to discredit these people in their strides in what they're doing. It's more so in the sense of like, when we talk about in the sense of history, we don't talk about accomplishments in the world of science, mathematics,
right,
literature. We don't talk about y'all know who Dr. Richard Charles Drew is?
Not off the top of my head.
Black man who revolutionized open heart surgery. That's something we don't talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest fan of Ben Carson. Let's just put it out. Let's put it clear. But he revolutionized neurosurgery.
Yeah.
Being a neurosurgeon, and making his mark and trying to be a politician. Now, do I agree with him? No, I do not. But I say this in the sense of like, us as people of color, we have to understand we can also infiltrate these things without having to lose ourselves in trying to become something that we are not, and becoming our own demise. That's really where it comes from with Gooch is God and God is everything. Like understanding that boisterousness and boisterousness. Anyway,
boisterousness.
Thank you.
Thank
Right, in my blackness. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
What?
what it is, but it's
Right.
like, I don't disagree with a lot of people. At the same time, it's more like we have to come to a common consensus and understand, where things come from. Like we wouldn't have the stoplight if it weren't for blacks, for real. But at the same time, it's like we don't discredit anyone, but it's like we have to look at the overall history because, like, even being a child, I remember, like, oh man, like the civil rights movement was so segmented from Vietnam. And I have to learn about Vietnam separate from the civil rights movement when them shits were happening at the same time, along with World War II.
Right. So can I let me the Gooch is like one of your monikers. I know you have several of them. Dr. Quinn and
The Goose
also
and Don Briscoe. Yeah, there's three.
Don Briscoe, right? But the Gooch is kind of like more of the I don't want to say like the happier version, right? Is
No,
that
he's just the Gooch. The Gooch character is more so like I'm just out there. I'm gonna just say what I want.
Mm.
so
Like
no
you see how I'm dressed up right now. The chains and all. Like, nah, I'm just out here. It's like I don't care. The Gooch character is like, like I'm gonna just speak my truth. I'm gonna say what it is.
Yeah.
It's not about being brutally honest. It's about being boisterous.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So with this album, there's a lot of, and I messaged this to you earlier. There's a lot of influence, and and I know that you love Madlib. Madlib is like one of your favorite producers, and the J Lib with Dilla, and the song Lurk.
I also
And
love
it's like
Mad Lib.
I felt like that could have been something that they themselves could have done, and you guys were just so influenced by it, the Citizen and yourself on there. So did you know when you were crafting this record that their style would bleed into what you were doing, or did you just sort of organically kind of develop it?
I organically developed it, but I actually knew it's both. I organically developed it, but I already knew what it was going to turn into.
Sure.
It sounds cocky to say and arrogant, but no, I knew what the fuck I was doing in that aspect. Like, and on the topic of Lurk, that was actually the first Citizen joint we ever made.
Mm.
The very first Citizen joint. It was, before the Citizen EP, before when the Ashes met the Gooch. That was the very first record that was made. And the whole point of that record was for people to be confused of who was who. Because I can actually, like, well, hold on, let me expose my title since I sound like meatball for a minute. But I can actually imitate voices. So if y'all go back and get on the bit tape, make sure y'all support bittaperecords.bandcamp.com and get on the initial queue. Y'all hear me sound like meatwad. And I got Kerry Means, the dude that plays Frylock. Yeah, that's Frylock. Reese do a whole shit together. That's how much effort we put in this one. Because I mean, I really try to I was really like making sure that like no one could tell the difference between me and Kid. Like, wait, that's you, right? Nah, that's because I mean the first time I played for some homies, they were like, "Oh man, you sound schizophrenic." I'm like, "Nah, that's two people." What?
That's great.
Wow.
But yeah,
So,
that's why. But that's what I love about the record itself. Like you said, like all the things you mentioned about like utilizing your resources. And the interesting thing is that so when you were over in what is it, Eastern Illinois, there's this great interview that I read where you were like, you got to your senior year and you're taking a class, and they ask like, "Hey, who has made money off their work?" And you're the only person to raise your hand, and so you were already kind of like trying to push your work either through graphic design or through music, and utilize your resources through the school, getting your name involved in discussions and conversations. Talk a little bit about like why that is so important about rallying what's around you to help.
I didn't, when I first did that, it was more like, all right, so as a, when I was in college, like, and I'm not gonna reveal my real name, but when I was in college, like, or my old alias, this is taking me further into owning my record label. Shouts to Big Tay Records, Little Kid, Nathan Johnson, Cedric, Razom, all my niggas, everybody who's on the label right now. That's everybody right there. But I've really taken this to a level to where it's like, all right, when I opened for Lupe, or actually before I opened for Lupe, I wanted to, make some bread. I mean, you're a college kid. You got to hustle at some point.
Right.
So then, like, it was more so like, all right, I got skills. I know how to do graphics and shit. Like when I was doing raps, like at first, I was like, all right, let me see if I can, make an album. So when it came to the raps, it was like, all right, let me see if I can make an album. Boom, I made an album, sold it. People fuck with it. I'm like, all right, can I do it again? Because my dad always told me, he's like, all right, results show best. It's like, all right, you can do this. Like I did, because I went to school for both art and high jump, for track and high jump. He was like, all right, you made 6'4", but can you do it again? So I was like, all right, let me see if I can make another record. And I did make another record, but like I did my own graphic design. And then I just thought of myself like, all right, people need posters. I see people with flyers passing them shits out. All right, if I can make flyers for y'all or booklets or whatever the fuck, like cool. So when I did that, it was like, all right, let me start talking to people upstairs. So when I won that contest to open for Lupe, I was talking to the people from student activities, right? And then that's kind of where I got more in tune with student activities and getting more commissions in the sense of doing booklets. Or actually, no, 2000. Yeah, 2007. 2007 was the first time. So it wasn't before. It was before the Lupe thing, but I actually taught them about that shit. So I started making booklets for them during the homecoming. That was the first time I did that the booklet for homecoming. And then it led on to more shit, like they just saw that like, oh, he's very artistic and blah, blah, blah. But, I just started understanding that, but I mean, the core of it all is more so like this. Like I understood that things are a business. I love doing my art, like a lot of people who do this art shit don't recognize that they're contributing to a business. Not just someone else's, their own business.
Right.
And thinking about when I was because I thought about it like this. When I was in college, getting my bachelor's, I was a private contractor well before a lot of people. A lot of niggas right now will be in their 30s being a private contractor at this day. But like I got like, I'm not trying to brag. It's more like I understood it in that aspect. I understood in the sense of like, damn, like I'm doing something that most niggas would be doing in their 30s.
Right.
Not at this age, like I'm a private contractor. That's, it felt really vexing. It really felt vexing to me at a young age. I was like, damn, bro, like I'm contracted by you, like literally signing dotted lines and shit. So like, but that really built me towards doing this, because I mean, I've always been hesitant to want to start a label personally, just because like I've seen where they go. Cats who have labels. I got 1 million artists, nobody backing them, no team. Everybody's just an artist. Nobody's doing marketing. Nobody's doing PR. Nobody's doing booking. Nobody's doing shit. Just a bunch of artists and somebody gonna get mad because somebody doing all the work. And what I want to do with my label and what we have been discussing is more like, yo, let's, let's work together. Let's, not worry about having the art, because we have the art, we have the showmanship, but let's have the team. Let's be the 96 Bulls. That's what Tape Records is about, in my opinion, because it's like, seeing how that goes in that aspect. It's like, learning those aspects in my early days. It's like, all right, you kind of understand how a business runs. You know what it means to be the little man, the middle man, and the big man. And in order to be the big man, shouts out to my homie Colosso and John or Gilead 7. You're gonna wear a lot of hats. You're gonna wear a lot of hats in this shit. And that means you gotta you gotta be accountable and responsible. Accepting what the fuck you do. So it's like, I mean, like, I love that this album came out, but I mean, it's like, for real, like, I'm more happy that this label has been more so facilitating, just because it's like, we want to back ourselves, not, be a part of somebody else. Like, if we need distribution, we need it. But at the same time, it's like, I love where we're going with it, because it's like, these are the things a lot of artists don't talk about. And I'm just spitting free game. That's free game.
Yeah.
Master P charge you $25,000 to tell you about this shit.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you for free.
You know what? Next time the interview gonna cost $25,000. We're gonna have to give you that up front. You know what I mean? Just to come on here. That's crazy.
All right, before we get out of here, Dr. Quinn, we always have some funny questions, some humorous questions.
Oh, I got one, Gabe. Let me get one too.
All right, Dr. Evil or Dr. Manhattan? Which one are you?
Manhattan. Come on, man. If I was Dr. Manhattan, everywhere at once, at every time, at every place, at every second. Come on, man.
All right,
Dr. Manhattan, that's God.
Hey, he right about that. There's only one decision to be made in that one-on-one. You got more, Gabe, or no?
Yeah, one more. Radio Dr. Dre or producer Dr. Dre?
Ooh, that's a question.
Yo MTV Dr. Dre or NWA Dr. Dre? Which one?
All right, NWA. There we go. NWA.
All right.
NWA Dr. Dre. Kind of got the NWA thing going on right here with the Rage Against the Machine hat.
You know what it is.
Chilling in my 6'4".
And have you ever watched an episode of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
You know what? I'm like, I swear to God, like, what? First off, everybody, if y'all, get on bittaperecords.bandcamp.com. Look up Gooch's God and Guys Everything. That's my latest record. But if you get on Initial Q, I'm doing you Adult Swim fans a favor, because my name comes from See You Lad 2021. And this will be the first time, the only time Dr. Quinn and Frylock get to kick it. Be the only time. But to answer your question, I've like seen bits and pieces of Dr. Quinn Medicine. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm only saying that because I don't want people thinking like, oh yeah, he got his name. No, I didn't get my name from Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. C-Lab 2020, C-Lab 2021. And with Initial Q, it explains it all, with Frylock being on it. Shouts to Carrie Meads. Awesome ass man. Oh yeah, and shouts out to him for being a part of SAG finally.
All right,
he just got a part of SAG.
Word.
Screen Actors Guild. Like, that's some real ass shit.
All right.
Well, Gabe ate up my time. That is what it is. We're gonna have to leave it there with the Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Hey, no problem. Hey, yo, it's good chilling with y'all. I love y'all and appreciate y'all for having me on here. Hey, let's do another one for real, for real.
Hey, you're gonna be pumping out rap tapes every 2 months. You might have to come back.
Oh, don't
That's a-
worry.
That's a
420,
rule. You know, if you-
2022 syntax error.
All right.
That's it.
Hey, that's a
Four
Weekend at
track
Gabe's
EP.
exclusive, Gabe. We love a Weekend at
Breaking.
Gabe's exclusive.
Breaking.
You know
All right,
what it is.
Is God and God is Everything is the new album from our guest tonight, Dr. Quinn. Go catch it on his Bandcamp. Put the link up on our social medias later on tonight so you guys can get access to it. And also to support and lay down some cash for it to keep my man afloat, so to keep making more rap tapes. That's what we need to be doing. Dr. Quinn, enjoy the rest of your night, and also have a great holiday. We look forward to seeing you in 2022.
Most F God, thank you for having me on there.
All right, salute. Dr. Quinn tonight on Weekend at Gabe's. I've interviewed him a number of times, and I've never asked him the Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman question.
I'm glad you got that question off. I'm mad that you stepped on my question, but I'm gonna leave. Because you got the touch of great, Gabe, I'm gonna let you slide. But let's get into this next segment.
Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe. Thanks for checking out this latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's. Click on any of the links swirling around my head, and also hit the subscribe button while you're here. Thanks for checking out us here on YouTube.